us like a sailor at the time. So, you guys don't have to hold how you talk to me. I really don't care. But this is going to be recorded and then posted in the channel. So, however you guys want to do that. All right. So, first and foremost, we can set this up to where we start with Deal Sniper, or we can set this up where we start with wholesaling as a whole. I don't know how new some of you guys are. So, let's do it this way. Who needs an explanation on wholesaling in general? Like, who's completely new to wholesaling? Anybody, which is no big deal. I don't do that whole, oh, it's a stupid question. There's no such thing as a stupid question most of the time.
I'm brand new.
Brand new. Okay. So do you have a specific question about wholesaling?
Not a specific question, but I did have that one sub two that came in, and he just texted back, said, are you willing to take over the payments on a VA loan? And so I just called him straight up and told him yes, and then asked him, okay, what are they wanting? He said they want their equity, and I asked him, how much, and he said they want 120. And then he mentioned a little bit he had other offers that had come in that they said that they were going to pay the realtor fees, but nobody ever actually got a contract over to him. So then he told me to call him back at 5 o'clock.
Okay, which is what, in like an hour?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's a creative financing question. I'm going to get to that. I just want to make sure that for people who aren't there yet, they can understand what we're saying once we talk about it. So give me a few minutes and then I'll answer that question. But long story short, it sounds like it's going to be a hybrid. Okay. Anybody else have any beginner questions about wholesaling in general? Real quick overview. We're getting a deal under contract. It's not easy. Anyone who told you it's easy, it's not. It is absolutely not easy. I joined this 5 years ago from a TikTok that I saw while I was working as a clinical and marketing director for a hospice company. And I'm like, oh, I can do that. He said, all you got to do is get a deal under contract. You find a distressed house, you talk to them, and then you turn around, you find an investor, and you sell that contract to them for $10,000. I was like, oh, I can do that. Yeah, that's not what it is. It's not. So regardless of how you're here, through Deal Sniper, AAC, or the free Discord, and new to wholesaling, whatever, it's whatever struggles you're having, everyone in the beginning has those exact same struggles and then some. So wholesaling is easy. It's an easy thing to do. It's just not easy to do. It's easy to get a contract, get it signed, get it to title, find a buyer, have them sign, and then you make your money. That process is easy. The hard part is finding a seller that's got the right motivation, finding a seller that's in the right situation to accept whatever deal you're offering them, whether it's cash, creative, or whatever. Then get the deal under contract. Once all that's done, that's going to take sometimes 4 or 5 calls if you're going the long route. You're doing like driving for dollars, or even with a cold caller. You have to call some of these people 4 or 5 times, because think about what you're asking them to do. You're asking a complete and total stranger that you're calling over the phone, that you're never going to meet, they're never going to see your face, don't even know if it's your real name. Hey, Mr. and Mrs. Seller, sign this contract over the internet, and I'll make sure that you get your money from escrow in 30 days. Oh, but I'm also not going to put down a huge earnest money deposit, if any. No, you're never going to meet me. No, I'm never going to walk the property. You just got to trust me. That's hard to talk somebody to do over the phone. So wholesaling is hard to do, but it's not hard to do as far as a job. You just have to have the right mindset for it. Okay, so let's go into Deal Sniper. Does anyone have a Deal Sniper question? How to navigate it, how to use it. I can give an example. Whatever you guys need, just let me know.
Do we have the link to like create an account or access Deal Sniper?
I do. Let's see. I will post a link for Deal Sniper in the chat. If anyone needs it, it'll be there. Give me 1 second. Let me find it. Here we go. There's the link. Okay, so no one has a question about how to use Deal Sniper, how to navigate it. Okay, then let's go to creative financing.
Actually,
So,
Sean,
oh, go for
if you
it.
don't mind. I have a question. Let's see, where it says the estimate, is that I'm noticing where I'm doing it exact is the exact price as like the Redfin. What is that? Is that just the price or is that actual estimate?
No, that's the I think it's a typo that there's things that we're trying to add to Deal Sniper, and our developer, it's on his list. I've already told him, hey, that's going to confuse people. He's going to get to it. It's just not a priority. But yeah, that's just what they're selling the house for. That's the purchase price.
Oh, okay.
No,
Okay.
let me say that again. That's their asking price.
Yes. Okay. Got it.
All right.
Quick one. The link for the D Sniper is asking me to make another payment, which I already did yesterday.
You signed up yesterday?
Yes.
Okay, so then you need the website it's dealsniper.ai. Hold on, I can put that in the chat too. I thought you needed a link to sign up. I didn't know you signed up already. Okay. There's the actual website. And it'll look just like this. The only difference is where mine says log out, yours will say sign in. And then you just sign in with whatever you choose as your credentials yesterday when you signed up. All right, let's go into creative financing. And again, I don't do the whole that's a stupid question thing. There's no way for you to learn if you don't ask questions. So it is, who needs me to fill in a gap for what we're doing with creative financing? What questions do you guys have?
Hey, Sean,
What's up, Leslie?
if you don't mind, I never been on this Snapper. Would you go? Would you go to the website for the new people like me?
Oh,
Because
yeah. You want me to go back to Deal Sniper? I can do that.
yeah,
Okay. So you know what? Why don't we just tie the two together? Let's see. Jason, you were the one that asked me the question about the creative financing, right?
Yes.
Okay. So it does sound like it's going to be a hybrid. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to put an example through Deal Sniper right now. But if you can pull up the numbers for your deal, don't give me the address. Obviously, this will be posted. I don't want anybody to take your lead. But pull up the numbers that Deal Sniper generated originally for your offer, and then I'll use those to underwrite it as if it's the property I'm about to look up.
Okay.
And then that way we can kill two birds with one stone. So here's all you need for Deal Sniper. You need the website, and you need Redfin, or Zillow, or Realtor, or Truly, whatever one you want to use. I like Redfin. And then I'm just going to pick let's do whatever that is. Okay, and then I'm going to go here. Don't even know what city I'm in. Doesn't matter. Now, it matters when you guys are actually doing this. It doesn't matter for the example. Here's some of the rules you want to follow. Whoa, we're North Carolina. It's fine. Here's some of the rules you want to follow when you're using Deal Sniper for deals. Here's what markets you want to pick. You want to pick a market that's got a population of at least 500,000 people, ideally 750,000 or more. You also want to look for properties, and I'm going to try and find one right here, that are vacant or staged. And I'll show you what that looks like if I can find one. Whatever website you want to use, like I said, Redfin, Zillow, pick your city. You can Google it. Google the top most populated cities in the United States. Pick one. And then you go to here and you change your filter. Now, the only filter I change, the only filter you need to change is this right here. Time on Redfin. On Zillow, it'll be time on Zillow. And I want to go 90 days plus. You can go 60 days plus. We have a lot of people getting a lot of success with 60 days plus. 90 days plus is what I like. And then I'm just going to back out. Let's go right here. So there are 98 homes just in this little box that have been on market for 90 plus days. And I'm just going to pick one, but I want to find one that's vacant or staged. Vacant. Okay. So here's why you want to pick one that's vacant. The idea when someone lists their home on the market, on the MLS, their idea is not to get a creative financing offer. Their idea is that they're going to get a full cash offer. So this person here selling this home is expecting to get $348,000 minus their closing costs, obviously, when they close. So if this home were occupied, meaning I could tell there's furniture, there's jackets, there's shoes, you can just tell when you see a picture of a house that's lived in versus something like this that's vacant, then the chances are the people are going to need a large sum of the $348,000 that they're selling it for in order to buy another property. So this, if it's vacant, then they already live somewhere else. They already have a place that they live. So they may be more inclined to taking a creative offer since they're not going to be getting the full $348,000 at closing like they expected when they listed it. Does that make sense? Does anyone need me to go through that again? All right. So this one's vacant, so this would be a great candidate. So all I'm going to do is copy the address. I'm going to go over to Deal Sniper. I'm going to paste it. It's going to pull up the property for me, photos and everything. Here it is, listed. Yeah, see, this is the listed price, $348,400. So then you scroll down. Well, 91 days until. Just want to double check. So you scroll down. Does this property have a mortgage? I have no idea. So I'm going to assume no. Always assume no. Because if you put yes, it's going to ask you for the mortgage details. If you don't have it, then you got to go back and hit no anyway. If you're new to Deal Sniper, please clean up your numbers. You guys will hear me say that a lot. So what do I mean by that? Well, they're listing the property for $348,400, which is a stupid number to list for you. Just list it for $350. You know what I mean? And now we're going to offer them $383,243. No, we're going to offer them $380,000. And the methodology behind this, Deal Sniper, as great of a tool as it is, it'll scrub data from non-disclosure states. You can, if you're clever enough, you can use Deal Sniper to run comps. You really can. But at this portion of it, it's just a calculator. So it's going to give you the exact number. Well, the problem is that when people see your offer and they see that you're going to be offering a down payment of $26,826.80, they're going to say the same thing I just said. That's stupid. Just offer $27,000. And they're going to think that it's fake because it looks computer generated, and they're going to ignore it. Now, if you're following up with the realtor like you're supposed to be doing, you can, bring that back up. But in the meantime, the first time, just make sure the numbers are clean. Same thing with this monthly payment. This is saying that we're going to give them $642.42 every month. What is that? No, we'll just give them $600. And when you're rounding on the monthly payment, always go down. If it's $754, just go to $700. If it's $792, you can just go to $800. I would still go down, but that's me. 26,000. Yeah, no, just going to do 27,000. So now if you look at our offer, it's so much cleaner. We're going to offer you $380,000. We're going to give you $353,000 seller financing. We'll give you $27,000 cash at closing, and we'll give you $600 a month. Easy. So once you have this information here, you hit copy, this little right there. You go back to the listing, scroll down just a bit, and you'll see that this property is listed by Terry Seibert. So I copy the entire thing. Now, a lot of times the realtors will have their phone number and their email address listed right next to their name. This one doesn't. So all I'm going to do is go to Google. I can call her office if I want to. There's our office phone number, but I want to find her. Here's her profile. There's her cell phone number. She didn't list her email address. So in this situation, I would give her a call. Now I'd say, Terry, hello, my name is Sean. I have an offer I'd like to submit on your property I've listed on Shawnee Drive. I don't see your email address on your profile. Can you please text that to this number? I'd like to get you this offer by the end of the day today. That's it. She gives you the email address, you put it in your email. And then one thing I did see somebody do, and it'll happen, especially if you get into a groove, fill this part in, put the realtor's name, put your name, put your cell phone number or whatever phone number you want them to call, then send it. That's it. If I wasn't showing you guys how to do this and talking in between, it would take me 2 minutes to send out one offer. Our formula, you send out 20 offers a day or 100 offers a week. Out of those 100 offers, 95 of them are going to say no. So make sure you understand. 95% of the time, people are going to tell you no. It's something you have to get used to. But out of those 100 that you sent out that week, 5 of them will respond positively, and they may want to renegotiate, get some clarification, whatever. And out of those 5, you'll close 2 or 3 every single week, as long as you're sticking to the formula. Sometimes it will be more. Sometimes it will be less. This is very much a numbers game method of wholesaling, but it works. And the great thing is you don't have a lot of competition, because around the wholesaling world, most people don't go after listed properties. Most people in wholesaling aren't too familiar with creative financing, so they don't even know how to make this kind of offer. You're only competing with other people that knows that this exists and happens to be sending an offer. Oh, and they happen to have deal sniper. The average assignment fee that we go for every deal, we shoot for about $10,000. So if you're doing 2 to 3 a week, do the math. $30,000 a week. Hell, cut it in half. What if it's $5,000? What if it's 2? What if you made $2,000 an assignment and you doing that 3 times a week?
That's extra money.
That's a lot of money.
Yeah.
Who? I can't see the other screen. So who had a question?
Quick one.
Rahmani had it. He raised his hand first.
What's up, man?
So my question is this: sometimes I come across listings that the price cuts are very drastic. So, for example, I came across one today that was listed originally for 700,000, and then today they updated the price to 474. When it comes to some, do you think it would be like smarter to call the realtor to get some background on it, on why it's so drastic?
Yeah, absolutely. I always recommend you have a good relationship with realtors. Now, there are realtors that absolutely don't like wholesalers. That's not your fault. That's not their fault. The fault is the shitty wholesaler that they ended up dealing with that made them not like wholesalers. That's whose fault it is. But sometimes you can't do anything about it. But I always recommend get on the phone with a realtor, talk to them. It's not like talking to a seller. For any of you that are used to wholesaling directly to seller, this is not like that. There's no building rapport and getting to know everything. Realtors know the game, and they're trying to get their commission like you're trying to get your assignment. So if you tell them, if they're talking to you, ask them what's up, what's going on. So what I would say to that realtor, I'd give them a call and I'd say, hey, look, I was literally about to put an offer in, and then I saw the price drop. I saw how drastic it was. What happened? Like, what's the deal? Because a lot of my buyers, and I would just slide this right in, a lot of my buyers that I deal with, they love this area. Quite a few of them told me to target this neighborhood in particular. I saw this property yesterday. I come into the office today. I'm getting ready to put in an offer, and I saw the drop. What happened? Yeah, you can absolutely do that. And
I've been having more responses ever since I've been bringing up the topic of commission, because I know that's what they care about.
Yep.
How does that work? Let's say I went ahead, somebody bit, was like, hey, look, I'm interested. My client is interested. I'm not familiar with seller finance. How would I get paid? How do I answer that?
So did you watch the video with England that I did, the realtor?
No, I didn't. Not yet.
You should watch, all of you guys should watch that. I actually interviewed a realtor to find out why realtors don't like wholesalers and what we can do to, bridge that gap. So to answer that question, because we touched on that in the call, your answer should be something along the lines of, and you should tell a realtor this, you should make sure a realtor understands this immediately. I'm not trying to cut you out of the deal. Far from it. I'm actually either going to pay your commission or I'm going to help the seller to pay your commission. We're not cutting you out of the deal at all. If you want to double end this thing, go for it. As long as I get my buyers are happy, I'm good. That's your answer. Now, the mechanics of how we're doing that, we're probably just added to the purchase price. So I'll give you a good example. Let's say we have wait, hold on. Before I get into this, let me bring this up again, dude, when we get to the calculator. I'm going to use this as an example for Jason's deal. Christopher, what can I do for you?
Quick one. I was watching the contract. I had to do that on the hub, and I see that I was confused. Are we doing the contracts to the realtor or the actual owner of the property? If I was talking to the realtor all this time, whose name is going to be on the contract? It's going to be like the realtor, which I don't think it should be. It should be the owner of the property, right?
It'll always be the owner of the property. So here's how that goes. And this you're gonna have to watch out for, but you have to play it right. If again, if you're identifying yourself as a wholesaler, the name wholesaler or the title wholesaler is already gone through the whole realtor community. Fresh graduates into getting their real estate license know what wholesalers are, and it's usually not a good thing. So they may be reluctant to give you the seller's email address. They may say, yeah, send me a contract, let me see it, I'll present it to my clients. In that situation, if they give you their real estate license, their real attached email address, then what you're going to do is you're going to generate the contract and don't upload it to DocHub. DocHub is for when it's ready for a signature. But if a realtor just says, yeah, send it to me, let me take a look at it, I'll show it to my clients, then just generate the contract, like I said, and then download it as a PDF, attach it to an email, and send it to her, or send it to the realtor and say, hey, for your and your client's review, let me know when they're ready to proceed, and then I will send them a signable copy through DocHub. That's how you respond to that.
Okay, thank you.
No problem. Omar, what's up, dude?
Yeah. Is there a way that the realtor commission thing could be put into the email template?
Oh, you mean yeah, actually we're adding that.
Okay, perfect. And
we're
then
so I just found out that with my interview with the other realtor England, I just found out that that's the thing that realtors are afraid of from wholesalers the most, is that we're going to cut them out of the deal. So it's recommended, like I said, I just found this out the other day, but it's recommended that we let them know in the same breath, when they realize that we're a wholesaler, hey, just so we're on the same page, Mr. and Mrs. Realtor, I'm not here to cut you out the deal. Quite the opposite. I'm either going to pay your full assignment, or I'm sorry, your full commission, so you can double in this thing if you want, or depending on what your fee is, if it's a little too much, I'll split it with the seller to help them pay you. We're not going to cut you out of the deal. We're just trying to get this house sold. That, yeah, I mean, if you talk to them like that, though, you tell them from, this is going to sound like super hippie. You tell them from inside, like, hey, I'm not here to mess with you. I don't want to mess with your money or nothing like that. I'm sure you've heard bad things about wholesalers. This is not that. All I'm trying to do is get this house sold, and it's probably going to come down to I'm going to be the one paying your commission. Make sure that they understand that, and you should be good. Now, that's going to work most of the time, but if they got really screwed over by a wholesaler, it might not, and that's just something that just comes with the game.
Because that's all they care about, to getting paid, no matter and closing a deal. That's all they care about. So
yeah, you just want to align yourself with them as an ally, not an adversary. So I'm not here to take it from you. I'm here to help you.
Quick one: do we include their commission in this offer I'm looking at, or do we just verbally tell them how they're going to trust the words of our mouth? And let me say we agree to take care of their commission. At the end, the commission is high, probably above 10,000, and my assignment fee is 10,000. How do I avoid that?
A couple things. One, don't ever tell anyone what your assignment fee is, because that now they have leverage over you. If you tell people, oh, my assignment fee is $10,000, and the realtor hears that, I'm not saying they're going to do it, but people are people, then you could get a real estate agent that says, well, I want you to add another $5,000 to the purchase price, or I'm not doing it, because they know that you'll probably take $5,000 and not just lose the deal. So don't ever tell anyone what you're making. But in answer to your question, you can absolutely, we're going to add it to the template. It'll be added in the next couple of days. But for now, if you want to send out that you will do that in the email, you can, but I would recommend doing it a little bit differently. There's a couple of hurdles you have to jump through doing it this way. This way is very effective, and it's easy because, like I said, 2 minutes per offer. You can do that all day long if you wanted to. Here's the hurdles that you have to go through. One, you're going to send this out, and no matter what it says, the realtor's either going to like it or not like it, or the seller is going to like it or not like it, and they may not even answer you. So one, you have to get an answer to the email. Two, you have to identify yourself as a wholesaler once you get an answer to the email. Now, there's a lot of different ways you can do it. I would just come out and say, hey, I'm a wholesaler. I would get on the phone with them, answer any questions they have about the offer, and then start to gradually bring up the fact that you're a wholesaler. And then at that point, tell them, hey, yes, I'm a wholesaler. No, I'm not trying to cut you out the deal. I'll probably be the one paying your commission. If you want to double in the deal, that's absolutely fine with me. I just want to get this house sold and get everybody paid. So you kind of have to go through those steps. So putting all of that into the first email, you could do it. And I'm not saying it's not going to work. I'm just saying my style, I wouldn't do it that way, because there's a lot that can be lost in translation over an email or a text. Things that just can't be conveyed like they can be conveyed over a phone call. So when I'm having things that I want people to very specifically understand what I'm saying, I'm going to say it over the phone, not over text. That's just me, though. Whatever works for you guys, do it. What works for me is not going to work for everyone. What's up, dude? Go ahead.
So my question is, I send out my emails. Something that I've been adding recently has been that I'm hesitant because I sent half of my emails this way. I tell them, hey, like usually when I'm in the calculator, once it gets like to like 15%, 17%, like it's not that 10% minimum. I send whatever monthly payment that is, and I send it out, right? But I feel like sometimes that the realtors look at the monthly payment and they think it's too low, and they don't respond to the email because it's like, are you fucking kidding me? Are you joking? You know what I mean? It's like these are not my final terms. I have room to negotiate and room to go back and forth. Do you think I should include that in the email? But at the same time, I don't want to shoot myself short. And then they're like, well, no, I'm gonna better before I take it. So where do I meet that middle ground? Because I don't want to give them that max that I have that gets me at 10%, but I don't want to also, if there's room to make more money, why give that up so quickly? Does that make sense?
Absolutely. Yeah. That's a difficult question to answer for everyone, because there's going to be realtors who just don't like seller financing. And mostly that's because they don't really understand it. I get a lot of screenshots from text messages from realtors of people shooting back. They say, I don't understand this. And we look at it, and me in particular, and you guys, once you get more acclimated to it, we look at it and like, what do you mean you don't understand? It's right there. You know what I mean? So if a realtor doesn't like creative financing as a whole, seller finance, subject to, hybrids, whatever, then it's not going to matter what you put in the email anyway. Now, there are going to be times where realtors are going to send back, hey, we're not looking to do a lease to own kind of situation, and these payments are very low, thinking that this person is just looking for a place to rent. And that's when that leaves you an opening to say, no, I'm not looking to do a lease to own. I'm not looking to live in the property. My buyers are interested in renting it out. And based off of our numbers of what this place would rent for, this is how much we can give you as a monthly payment. Then it's looked at a little bit different, because instead of just looking like someone who's trying to get cheap rent on a house that's for sale, now you look like you're representing investors who are actually serious about buying this thing, and this is what they do. And you've also given justification as to why the payment is what it is. And that may start that
Understood.
might start a dialogue to where open them up so you can talk to them.
Yeah,
Got you.
yeah, I had a similar situation. I got an email back and saying, "Oh, the monthly payment's too low. You know, my payment's not even that much. It's higher."
Yeah, so that would open you up to a subject to conversation. Where you can say something along the lines of, "Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't know this property had a mortgage on it. I'll tell you what, if you can give me the approximate mortgage balance, interest rate, and monthly payment, I'll send over another offer in 15 minutes covering that mortgage, or also covering that mortgage." And then boom, you just got into a conversation about a hybrid or a sub two, depending on the situation.
Since you brought up the topic of hybrid, right? We know that our benchmark for a seller finance is that it needs to be 10% cash on cash return. From like obviously the past couple of weeks, the past couple of trainings, something that I've learned from you and understood is it's more difficult to push or sell a hybrid, right? To make it worthwhile for investors, what percentage do you think we should stop at or stay at to make it to incentivize them to want to get that deal?
Let's see. I would say a 10%. Okay. I don't want you guys, I'm going to tell you something. I don't want you guys coming back to me with every single deal that's, "Hey, Sean, this will work as an 8." The actual threshold minimum is 8% cash on cash return. That's the minimum. And the reason being for that, and I'm not well versed in this side of finance, so if I get a couple of words wrong, forgive me. But from what I understand, the most basic investment someone can make, meaning all of us take some money, walk into our local bank, Wells Fargo, Bank of America, whatever, and say, "I'd like to buy T-bills." Your rate of return on that, I think, is going to be right around 7.5%, 8%. So the idea behind it is, why would an investor who has the money to put into a property, $30,000, $40,000 to put into a property because they're looking for a cash on cash return, why would they buy from us at 8% and go through all the hassle of having a tenant, rehabs, vacancies, taxes, all that stuff, when they can just take that same money and go to the bank, get some T-bills, and get in a 7.5%, 8% cash on cash return? So technically our minimum is 8. And I don't tell people that because usually newer people start bringing me every deal. "Oh, this works if I can just give the seller what they want, and it's an 8%. So the hierarchy would be 8 to 10%. Investors are like, "Yeah, that's pretty good. I mean, I'll buy that. I'll take a look at it." And if there's one thing about it they don't like, that's enough for them to be like, "Yeah, never mind." Anywhere from 10 to 12%, it would take quite a bit more for an investor to find some little nitpicky thing that they don't like and not buy the deal. 12 to 15%, as long as it's not a full gut rehab, they'll buy it. They'll buy it. If it needs work, "Hey, this place needs a furnace." Don't care. They'll buy it. "Hey, this place was a hoarder and they sold drugs out of here and you're going to have to clean it out." They don't care. They'll buy it. Anything above a 20% cash on cash return, you're going to get into a couple of bidding wars if you have a bunch of local buyers see it. Anything above 25% cash on cash return, the place could be just short of a teardown and they'll probably buy it. So that's kind of the hierarchy of cash on cash return. So it all depends on how much you want to get the deal sold. And one other thing, just to touch on, Christopher, I see you, I'll get you in a second. One other thing, just to touch on some things that some of the newer people will do to try and make a deal fit the mold. You're not helping yourself and you're not helping the seller or the realtor, which is the goal. Yes, we want to all be paid. But if I tell someone I'm going to get a house sold, I want to get it sold. I like to keep my word. So if you try to lock a deal up where the numbers don't exactly work, you're potentially setting yourself up and them for failure. So it's more beneficial for you to get a deal locked up under the terms and the price that it needs to be in order to sell so the sellers can get their money than just give them what they want, waste your time for 2 weeks trying to sell it just to let them down anyway. So obviously, the higher cash on cash return across the board, the better. The lower the down payment across the board, the better. Those are the deals that get sold quickly. Christopher, what can I do for you?
Quick one for the seller finance. Once we get the numbers from this sniper, are we doing any other calculations or just copy and paste and send it out?
Copy, paste, and send it out. Deal Sniper will always give you an equitable cash on cash deal. Now, here's what I would do. Here's what I suggest. When you're sending out these offers, let's just say, I know some people do a lot more. I got one guy who does like 40 or 50 offers a day. When you're doing these, remember, you're going to get 95% of them are going to say no. But the 5% that say, yeah, let's talk about it. Then I would go back into Deal Sniper, and I'm going to show you guys how to do that now. Jason, I haven't forgotten about you. Then you go back into Deal Sniper, or I'm sorry, not Deal Sniper, Deal Machine, the calculator, and I would run the numbers through there, not to double check Deal Sniper. Deal Sniper is going to give you a good deal. But chances are, when the realtor calls you back, they may want to negotiate. A lot of you that are on this call, you guys know that. You said one thing, they come back, I want more of a down payment. I want more of a monthly payment. So you need to know what those maximums that you can go are. And the calculator will help you do that. So don't run the calculator on every offer you send out. That would be a lot. But absolutely run it on the ones that say, yeah, I'm interested, or let's talk about it. I have questions. You want to know your numbers, your maximums. That way, if you know to get a 10% cash on cash return, the most monthly payment you can do is $1,000 a month. Now, when you get on the phone with the realtor and the realtor says, hey, we like your offer, we like the down payment, you offered us $500 a month, but we were looking for a little bit more. Pro tip, anytime a realtor says we're looking for more, ask them how much. Ask them what they want. Don't just start arbitrary throwing numbers out. One, it makes you look weak. Two, it makes you look unprofessional. So yeah, we really like your down payment. We like the deal, but we need a little bit more monthly. Oh, okay. How much more were you looking for? We were looking for $1,200. You know what? I ran the numbers, and that's $1,200 is not going to work. So we have to keep our threshold at about a 10% cash on cash return for our buyers to, really want to take this down. Like I said, I don't want to waste your time. I don't want to waste mine. We can't do 12. What if I come up another $250? What if I'm at $750? That's how you negotiate. I mean, that's not the end all be all of negotiating, but that's the start of it. And for this, that's as much as you're really going to need. You tell them what you can do. You let them tell you what they want. If you can give them what they want, if your max is $1,500 and they ask for $1,250, give it to them. Why not? Let's make it a win-win for everyone. Sellers get a win. The buyer's still going to get a win because your max was $1,500 anyway. And then you get the deal under contract. Realtor gets their commission when it closes. RT, what's up?
It's okay if I send you a live sub 2 possibly. You could probably run it on the deal machine just so I can see it live real quick.
How fast do you need? Like, do you have like the realtor on the other line?
Oh no, I have all the details. He just sent over like the mortgage information. I just wanted to see how it looks live with Deal Sniper.
Oh yeah, we could do that.
Okay, I'll send it on Discord. That's okay.
Well, no, just stay online, and then once we get to the calculator, just give me the numbers.
Oh, okay, yeah, you're right.
Yeah, you're good. Also, since we're about to jump into the calculator, I have gotten 30 or 40 requests for access to the calculator. You guys don't need to request access to the calculator. Make sure you read the posting above the link. I'm going to show you real quick. When you go to the calculator, you're going to get it. It's going to say view only or something like that. It's not going to let you do anything. All you do is go to File, make a copy, name it whatever you want, and save it. And then you will have your own copy that you will have access to. And here's why. If I give you guys all access to this calculator, that means we would all be using it at the same time. We would all be using this exact version, meaning I could be putting in numbers here, and then here comes Tyler, and he's like, okay, now he's putting in numbers here and changing this. You guys don't want that. So just go to File, Make a copy. All right. I went off on a tangent, which Christopher, yeah, what's up?
Yeah, once you click on the link for the calculator, what I see in the pop-up is request access. I don't see this blue stuff. I don't see the chart
So
we are seeing now. Once you click on the link, it just says request access. I don't see the chart. Everything is blank.
that is strange. Hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, only people with the link can access. Yeah. Okay. Well, let's try it. Copy. Get rid of some of these real quick. It's over here somewhere, right? How do you go into oh, here it is. Must be over here. Where's that? There it
It's
is.
a deal machine calculator.
Okay. Oh no, that's wrong. I don't want to.
Yeah, it says you need access. I got the same thing. You need access, request access, or switch to an account with access.
Oh, wait a minute. This link was just fucking working. All right, hold on a second. Let's do this. Give me a second here. Um, and all you guys are having the same issue.
I just got that right now. I checked again, but I had it before. So I was able to download it before, but I just double checked right now and yeah, same thing as Christopher's getting. Request
Okay.
access.
All right. Let's try this. Try this one in the chat right now. See if it comes up to where you can make a copy.
Okay, the one in the chat came up good.
Okay, so let me, before we do some bullshit, give me a second and let me change the one in Deal Sniper. I don't know what happened to it.
Yep, I got the same thing. It's working now.
All right, cool. Okay, let's get back to it. So I kind of went off on a tangent a little bit. I don't remember who I was talking to. Did I answer your question or did I trail off before I answered you?
I think you answered the question after you were going to go into Jason's deal.
Gotcha. Okay, so does anyone need anything before I go? Does anyone need anything on Deal Sniper before I go to the calculator?
Yeah, real quick. So I've been coming across certain listings, like because like when you go on Redfin, it says, "Oh, fits your criteria, you might be interested in this property," all the way on the bottom, but it's like in the middle of buttfuck nowhere. So when you go ahead and take that and you put out a rental meter, it doesn't show up, right? So I've been using Zillow Estimate, right, for the rental, for the rent month. Sometimes I just like to double check my numbers just to make sure the rent is what it is. So I put it on both Rent-A-Meter and on Zillow. And sometimes there's a big discrepancy between them. It's not a few $100s. It's like probably like $7 difference between them. Which one should I use? Should I just add them together and just do the average of them, or what would I use for the rent?
No. Don't do that. Two
Okay.
things. One, don't market in rural areas. That's one. That's probably what's throwing the rent off from Rent-A-Meter to Deal Sniper in the first place.
Okay.
Marketing in rural areas, and I know sometimes, and not you, I don't know what your reasoning behind it was, but a lot of people think I'm going to go to a more rural area. There'll be less competition there, which is very true. That's very true. You know what else is less? Buyers. Most buyers aren't going to invest money in an asset where, it's a population of, 20,000. It's just they would much rather go in a population that's much bigger, because then they constantly have potential tenants for their properties. Like, if give you a good example, if you're in a small town and Emily's just about to move out and go try life in California, you don't have a whole lot to pick from people to rent that property. So now you're paying for an asset and it's not bringing in any money. And that's a lot of times what investors are worried about investing in smaller areas. That's why I tell you guys to stick to 750,000 or more for the population.
Right.
Now, as far as rent, and it's funny, I just explained this to someone earlier today. I can't remember who it was. There's 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 different websites that will pull up rent, or that'll tell you what an area or property will rent for. And they're all using different comps. That's why they all come up with different numbers. And much like how the way that I comp a property, if I'm looking for an ARV, is going to be different than another wholesaler, investors are the exact same way. There isn't one universal rental comp that investors use. Some will use Rent-A-Meter. Most of them use Zillow, to be honest, because they're pulling it from Zillow Marketplace, where there's always a lot of places for rent. So if there's a place for rent on Zillow Marketplace for a certain amount and it gets swooped up, then the Zillow algorithm fills that. I'm sorry, not Zillow, Facebook. It gets locked up, then there's an information sharing system. So most of them use Zillow to estimate their rent. And I'm 99% sure that Deal Sniper is also pulling directly from the Zillow rents, because those are usually what most people use.
And so I came across a scenario where I saw a property that was in Fredericksburg, Virginia, right? So bigger population, not 750,000, but just bigger because it's closer to DC.
Okay.
And I was going through the sale history, and I saw that the owners of the property had listed it for rent for $2,500. I went on Rent-A-Meter. The rent going in that area was like $3,400 to $3,500. So I was just like, yo, like, did they just undercut themselves because they were really motivated in getting a tenant in there? Or like, what would I use? Would I use the seller who knows about their property, or would I go off Rent-A-Meter, since that was like, it showed like a whole bunch that rented for around $3,400, $3,500?
Yeah, I would never go off of a normal seller choosing their own rent. It would be like asking a seller, what's your house worth? So,
Gotcha.
and here's why. Because think about it. Some of these people have owned these properties for 5, 10, 15 years, have the same tenant in there for the last 5, 10, 15 years with the same rent. So if they were charging, let's say, $1,000 10 years ago, and then that person, for whatever reason, moves out and, all right, time to get a new tenant, they don't really know what to base the rent off of, because it's not like they've been going up on the rent following the market every year for the last 10 years. So they're kind of just throwing a number out there, or they may do some research. They may contact a couple property management companies and things like that, but that's a little more rare. Most people just kind of wing it. So I would go off Rent-A-Meter.
Or another thing, you could also call the realtor, and then ask, hey, I'm looking to invest it. What are the rents around this area?
Yeah, you can do that too.
People to ask, I think, because they know the area,
That's and plus it'll get you a lot of good practice talking to realtors.
Yeah.
Okay. I am going to move on to the calculator unless someone has a Deal Sniper question. All right. So quick overview on the calculator, and there are videos on the channel for all of this that I'm going over that you guys can watch, for more repetition, things like that. This is if you're going to underwrite a cash deal. If you're using Deal Sniper, you are not giving out cash offers. If someone says, sorry, we're just looking for a cash offer, sorry, we're just looking for a conventional offer that also needs cash. If they say, sorry, we're looking for, and it's not a seller finance, a subject to, or a hybrid, don't offer. Because the formula for calculating a property's value and what we can offer as a wholesaler, it's 60% of listed price, not ARV, listed price. 60% of that minus rehab minus assignment. That's your MAO if the property is on market, if you're going to offer cash. So I always just don't, it's a waste of time. Don't do it. All right. This is how you do subject to deals. This is how you do hybrid deals. And this is the one that most of you guys are going to be using most of the time, seller finance. So first thing I want to do is I want to go through Jason's deal because I told him I'd do it first. Then
Hey,
I can't.
Sean?
What's up?
John, before you get started, could you explain the difference between the sub two and the hybrid? When is the hybrid used?
Sure. So first thing I'm gonna do is go over Jason's deal, and then I can't see the screen, so I don't know who had that live sub 2 request, but we'll do that one. All right, but first let me break down the difference. So cash deal is cash, obviously. Subject to means they have a mortgage. So I'll give you an ideal subject to. They're selling their house for $150,000 and they owe $120,000 on it. That's a subject to. When they want to sell it to you for very little or nothing above their actual mortgage, that's a good subject to. A hybrid is a combination of a subject to and a seller finance. And what that means, and when you know you need to use it, if they're selling their house for more than what we could give them as a 10% down payment on the whole purchase price, if they're selling it for more than that over their mortgage, it's a hybrid. So a good example, their mortgage balance is $130,000, but they're selling it for $300,000. So that big of a gap, it has to be a hybrid because we're only going to give them $30,000 at closing as a down payment. So the rest we're going to have to finance. So that means that we're going to be paying whatever their mortgage is, and then we're going to be paying whatever we negotiate to pay them monthly. That's a hybrid. And then seller finance just means they have no mortgage.
Okay, seller finance means the house is paid off, they don't have a mortgage, right?
Yeah, seller finance means they have no mortgage. They own the
Okay.
house free and clear. I don't know who asked me that question. I couldn't see the screen to go
That was
through
me.
the different. Oh,
That was
did that
me. I
answer your
appreciate it.
question?
Yes, sir. So
And we're
real
gonna
quick,
do an
seller finance.
example of all of them tonight too.
Okay,
So
cool.
don't
Seller
worry.
finance would be no mortgage. Hybrid would be same kind of down payment, but they had a mortgage also.
Right.
They're just on a higher, so same difference kind of.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
No problem. All right, Jason, let's go through your deal. So refresh my memory. It's a hybrid?
Yes. Okay. So the situation is they're asking 255,000.
Okay.
Deal Sniper said to give them 280,000.
Okay.
They have $135,000 in equity right now.
Okay.
Based on that 255 if they get the 255.
So if they get 255, they're gonna walk away with 135,000.
That's right.
Okay. And then do you have their mortgage information?
I asked that from him. He said he was going to give that to me at 5 whenever we talked again. But Deal Sniper says it's like 1,100, or somewhere around there. But he said he thought it was around 1,500.
1,500 as the monthly payment?
That's what he said. But as my calculations, it comes around closer to that 1,100.
Well, what could be the discrepancy is where did you get the 1,100 from?
Okay.
Like who told you it was 1,100? What makes you say that?
Deal Sniper says PITI is 1,100, and I got it off of PropWire that their mortgage and interest is, I think, 500. And then, whenever I took their insurance and property taxes and divided it out, then it came out to be about that 1,100.
Okay, that's enough for me. Any idea? Oh, you said the interest rate was 5?
It's 3.95.
Okay. So their mortgage balance is about $120,000. You said 1,100 PITI. Interest rate was, you said 3.25.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And you offered them 280.
What they said is that they want to walk away with I think what was it 120,000?
Oh, that's what they want as a down payment?
No, they want to walk away with 120,000 because that's what but they're saying that they'll take 120.
Okay. I'll build the deal out to, from what I'm hearing, they want to walk away with $120,000 cash, and then what they're saying is they'll subject to the mortgage to you. And obviously that's not going to work because the most we can give them is $28,000. So I will underwrite the deal just so you can show them the max of what we can give them, and they can do whatever they want to do after that.
Yeah. So this one has been on the market for 220 days, and it's a VA loan, and they're not there. They're paying their mortgage. They want to get out of it. And in talking to the realtor, he said they've had several offers that said they would pay the realtor fee and blah blah blah, and but he said they never actually sent them a contract over to them. He said, if you can send that to me, then we can have a deal. So these guys are they really want to sell it. So if we can figure this one out, I think we can get it done.
Okay. All right. Let's see. So $280,000 purchase price minus the $120,000.
Yeah. Well, they would take they would take 255 instead of 280.
Yeah, but that's under the stipulation that they're getting.
Okay, I got you.
At that closing. They're not getting that. I'm trying to help them at this point.
Okay.
Minus 28G, so that means they'd be seller financing 132,000. So here's how I got to this number, in case anyone doesn't know. I'm taking the total purchase price, which in this case is $280,000. I'm subtracting how much they owe in their mortgage, which is $120,000. And I'm also subtracting the down payment. That's $28,000. So what do I have left is $132,000, and that's how much the seller financing is. What's the LTR?
1,800.
Okay. So if I go over to hybrid now, I'll tell you guys now, hybrids are going to be difficult. And here's why. Because you're paying the mortgage and the seller. And when I say you, I'm referring to the buyer. When the buyer is paying the mortgage and then the monthly payment to the seller, there's not a whole lot left over to make that 10% cash on cash return. And here's a prime example. Yeah, that's what I thought. So we could give them a $280,000 purchase price. The most we can give them is $28,000 down, and they would only be getting a $150 a month payment. And that's what's getting the 10% cash on cash return. You can't go any higher than that.
Yeah, and I think their selling point might be that they wouldn't have to be kicking out that $1,200 a month. And the house is vacant. I don't know what the exact situation is, but they probably already paid $10,000 since they've had it on market already.
I'll bet.
And then so do you want to pay another 10,000, or would you rather go ahead and take this deal? And then if we set it up on a balloon, I don't know what we could actually give them, which is going to be in our best interest to actually get this deal sold.
Well, this is it. I mean, you can give them a 10-year balloon. The lowest you can go, 10 years is really the lowest you should go, but if it'll help the deal, we might be able to move it at 7 years as a balloon, but no lower than that.
Okay.
And I like your approach. I mean, you've already paid X amount of dollars while this house is vacant, sitting on the market. You could leave it there, or you can take $28,000 right now. You can take some positive cash flow of $150 a month, and in 7 years, you get the remaining balance of what we owe you, and you walk away. It's up to you. And this is a prime example of what I was talking about earlier. Not that, Jason, you're doing this, but someone who's new and really excited may want to go through the deal anyway, trying to get it under contract for 120,000 or 100. Sean, I got it for $100,000 down. I locked it up. Why would you do that? Like $70,000 more than what you're going to be able to sell it for. So, and you're just wasting your time and wasting their time. So this is a prime example of don't make a deal fit in the mold. If it doesn't fit, as of today, there's like 1.57 million houses listed in the United States. You don't have to make this one fit, or anyone that doesn't fit. Okay. Let's see. Who else had the wait? Did that answer your question, Jason?
Yes.
Okay. Who had the live deal?
Oh, that was me.
Okay. All right. You want to give me those numbers?
What would you need? I have the mortgage, the interest rate, and the monthly payment, and then their asking price.
Okay. So how much are they asking?
They were asking 155. But deal machine, the offer that I sent them out was for 165.
Okay. And how much is their mortgage?
Their mortgage is roughly 20,000.
Oh, yeah. This is not going to be a hybrid. This is going to be this isn't going to be a sub two. This is going to be a hybrid.
Okay.
So $20,000 for the mortgage. Okay. What is the monthly payment?
900. And it's including HOA.
Okay, wait a minute. Is this what Deal Sniper is giving you as the mortgage?
No, that's what the realtor told me.
Okay, cool. What's the interest rate?
It's 4%.
Awesome. Okay. And then they want to sell for 165. So the most we can get. What did you offer them as a down payment?
I offered them a pretty low down payment of 8,000, but they said they were considering something within 20 to 25.
20 to 25,000?
Correct.
Yeah, they ain't getting that. But that's okay. We'll give them 15. What's the rent?
1 more. 800. The rent is actually, I'm sorry, 1240.
All right. So let's go to. Oh, I have to change that. All right. So if we are doing a $165,000 purchase price minus $20,000 for the mortgage, and then minus $15,000 for the down payment, that means they're getting $130,000 seller finance. All right. So we'll go to hybrid. And this is 900. Yeah, this deal doesn't work at all. I mean, even if we gave them $0 as a monthly payment, that's only a 9% cash on cash return. The only thing you could offer them would be $15,000 as a down payment, and then no interest, no payments for 7 years, and then they can get a full payoff.
Okay, that's on that was the hybrid you were on, correct?
Yeah, that's hybrid. And here's why. For anyone who didn't catch what I said earlier, if you notice the difference between their mortgage balance and how much they're selling it for, it's more than we could give them as a down payment. It's not even like we couldn't even negotiate. So if they owed $120,000 mortgage and they were selling it for 165, that's different. And the reason being, let me show you guys how to do some backwards math so you can figure this out the next time you have a potential for a seller finance. Let me just switch the screen. So let's say they're selling their property for the 155,000. You offered them 165. Let's just keep it at 165 for easy numbers, right? So they're selling their property for $165,000. And let's say you find out, for sake of argument, that their mortgage is 120 as a balance. So that means when they sell their house for 165, that mortgage is getting paid off out of the 165. So what they're actually only left with is $45,000. But then you got to subtract another 10% of the purchase price, give or take, for closing costs. So let's say we'll just do $10,000 in closing costs. So that means they're actually walking away with $35,000. It would be easier for me to convince them to take $15,000, maybe $20,000 down, and will cover the closing costs and all that shit, than getting them to agree to take no interest, no payments for 7 years, and then just to get the payoff at the end. Does that make sense?
Wait, sorry. Can you repeat that one more time?
Yeah.
The first portion of it.
Like the whole thing? Sure. So here's how you determine if you should pitch subject to, or if you've got a chance of pitching subject to. If they're selling their house for not that much more than what they owe, like let's say they're selling their house just to cover the closing costs and walk away with some money, you should offer a subject to. So in this example, let's say they're selling their house for $165,000. Or you know what? I can even do simpler numbers than that. Let's say they're selling their house for $100,000, but they owe $75,000 on a mortgage, right? So that means if they sell the house, the mortgage gets paid off out of the $100,000 that some buyer is going to give them. So you got to subtract the $75,000. You got to subtract the mortgage from the purchase price. So in this case, you got to subtract the $75,000 from the $100,000 they're selling it for. And when you do that, that means that they're technically only going to walk away with 25 grand, but they still have to pay closing costs. Now in this situation, it'd be closer to like 6 grand in closing costs because they have to pay their realtor commission and the taxes, title, escrow, things like that. So they're actually going to walk away with $19,000. Or I can say, hey, I'll do a subject to, I'll take over that $75,000 mortgage and I'll just give you $10,000 at closing. Now you only have to, and I'll cover all your closing costs. So that's an easier sell than trying to tell someone on, let's say, a hybrid. Let me go back to it really quick so you guys can see what I'm talking about. If we go back to the hybrid, in order to make this deal work, hold on. There we go. In order to make this deal work as a hybrid, we would have to give them no money down. And even then, it's still not 10%.
What if you were to coming at a lower down payment? Would that make any adjustments at all?
For this one, yeah. I mean, if we did, that's not going to be enough to be significant. But let's say we gave them $5,000 down, and then this would go to $140,000 that they're seller financing, and then I go to hybrid. You couldn't even give them $100 a month. You can give them 50, maybe 65.
So that's because the spread of what they're asking and the total mortgage amount is so far out. Is that correct?
Yeah. So here's what controls the cash on cash return. Yes, it's a little bit of the down payment, but in the terms that we're working, it's not going to make that much of a difference. It's really not. What makes the determination between a good cash on cash return and a bad one is how much it's going to rent for versus how much we're paying out from that rent. So let's go to the seller financing one just so I can break this down a little bit better. So this deal works as a 10.54 cash on cash return. The reason why it does is because the buyer is going to be taking in $25,200 every year. And they're going to be paying out $9,000. I mean, they've got to pay out this stuff too, the taxes, insurance, and all that. But to the seller, they're only paying out $9,000 a month in monthly payments. That means they're having a positive cash flow of $5,800 every year, or a 10% cash on cash return. If I go to the seller financing and change this to 1,800, keep everything else exactly the same, it dropped down just by me pulling out $300 from the rent, because now it's bringing in 21,000. It's taking out the war chest. It's taking out the taxes and insurance. It's leaving the seller with $11,000 after all this shit, right? But then they still have to pay and remove the $9,000 a year that they're making to the monthly payments at $750. That drops the cash on cash return, because look at how much they're left with now. And the only way that we can effectively, because you can't change the rent is what it is. The only thing you can actually change is what you negotiate to give them monthly. If I drop it $200, $250, now the deal works again, even with the lower rent. It's that ratio that you got to watch. How much money is it going to be bringing in versus how much money we're paying out?
Okay, and another question. So with a hybrid, at that point in time, since it doesn't realistically work, would their purchase price have to come down to even make it work at that point?
Let's see. Where are we at? 9.7. I mean, we could, yeah. I mean, if we were to drop the, how do I want to do this? So if we dropped the purchase price to, how long has it been listed for?
More than 100 days for sure.
Let's say we dropped it 40 grand. I know that's way easier said than done. I'm just for teaching purposes.
Correct.
And then go back to hybrid. PITI is the same. Okay. Yeah, no. Makes no difference. Because here's why. We're not paying interest on the seller financing portion. If you look here, 0% interest. So this number could be 500,000. That's 50. Hold up. It could be 500,000. Now that's a very, very big jump. And look, that's what it took to drop it 3%. And again, that's because no interest. There's no interest on the deal. So it's just amortizing it out for and it's so low. If I took that $65 away, look, we're right back to 10%. And we've got a purchase price here of $525,000. So the thing that matters the most is the rent. If this rent went to $1,500, that would make a much bigger impact. Look at that, 21%. Now, and again, obviously we can't control what the rental rates are. But now that same $100 we couldn't even give them last time, we can give it to them now. Can we do 200? We'll probably do 225. Yep. Now we can give them $225 a month. So the rent's still very low for this property. And it's, it's one of those things where you can't control the numbers. You can't control what their PITI is every single month. And you can't control what the rental rates are. The only thing you can control is the down payment and the monthly payment. And the one that dictates the biggest impact on the cash on cash return is the monthly payment.
Okay, gotcha. So at that point in time, I would just let the realtor know, seller finance wise, the numbers don't make sense, because he did ask me for the cash offer, and I did the 60%.
Yeah.
For
Did he laugh?
he
Did he laugh?
he
He laughed at you?
I already told him like it was gonna be low, but he still asked anyways, so I gave him the number, and then he inquired about the seller finance option.
Now, I'm going to tell you guys this, and this is just like that 8%. I want you to hear it, but don't harp on it, okay? But I'm always tell you guys if there's a way to close your deal. Technically, there's a way for you to close this deal and get it moved. You would have to get it moved to a homestead buyer. A homestead buyer is not an investor. A homestead buyer is someone who can't afford or can't qualify to get approved from a bank to buy a house. But if we look at the hybrid, technically, as it stands right now, oh, that's 500. Let me put it back to what it was. Hold on a second. Let me put it back to what it was. This was what, 140, right? Yeah, it was 140. This was 15. That's right. That's right. That's right. Oh, and this was 1240. Okay. So if we go back to hybrid, right now, this doesn't work for an investor, obviously, right? And let's say they wanted more. Let's say they wanted $500 a month. Okay. Now it really doesn't work for an investor. And this is something you could actually sell to them, probably. Someone who can't qualify at a bank can buy this deal from you for $28,700. And typically, people who have bad credit have more cash on hand. They have to. They don't have credit. So if you were to find a family that wanted to move into this property, because that's what a homestead buyer is, they're going to live in it. They're not going to rent it out. They're not going to fix and flip it. It's going to be their home. Then yeah, you just got to find someone that wants to own a home in this area and has $28,700. Then you can sell this to them. And it's the exact same thing. This 28,000 has your assignment fee built into it. It's right here. 15,000 of this is going to go to the seller. That's the down payment. 10,000 is going to go to you as the wholesaler, and the buyer is paying the closing costs. So that's where this 28,000 is coming from. The pool unless you got a hookup, if you know a lot of people, especially immigrants, people who can't get social security numbers, that's a big one. Pace Morby uses that a lot. We use that a lot. People who can't go to a bank, if you can put this deal in front of them and they have the money, they can buy a house with a mortgage. And then after living in it for a few years, they refinance it into their name. Done. So that would be your option for moving this deal, or moving any non-cash flowing deal, would be to sell it to a homestead buyer.
Gotcha. And how do you realistically even find those type of buyers?
Say that again. How are you realistically what?
How do you realistically even find those type of buyers?
Facebook Marketplace is a good place to go. Yeah. So what you would do is so for my disposition team, and by the way, all of you guys do have the ability to JV with me. That's not a problem. In case you guys want to know, it's a 60-40 split. If we sell a deal for you, you get 60, we get 40. So on a $10,000 assignment, you'd make $6,000, we'd make $4,000 to pay our disposition team. But realistically, what you would do is you would make your dispo material, and which is just a fancy way of saying making a flyer, outlining all the good things about the property, where it is, how many bedrooms, how many bathrooms, how far it is away from school, shopping center, whatever the thing is for the market that you're in. And then you would post it on Facebook Marketplace, and people would DM you if they're interested. And you put right there, clean as day. Total purchase price, $185,000. Financing already in place. That means it's already got a mortgage. Entry fee, $28,700, and even $30,000 if you want. It's just more money for you at that point. And then you got to kind of vet the people that come in. Some of them that contact you will be wholesalers trying to JV the deal. And if they're wholesalers, that's fine. Just tell them, hey, if you want to push my deal out to your buyers, that's fine. This is a non-cash flowing deal. It's looking for a homestead buyer. Throw your fee on top of mine. Whatever you make, I really don't care. And we'll get into that. That's a next level kind of training thing. And I am creating a whole disposition video series for you guys. It's just, that's a big process. So it's going to take a bit for me to do it. Did that answer your question?
Yes, it is.
Cool. Barbara, what can I do for you?
Hi, how's it going?
Fantastic. How about yourself?
Doing well. I just joined the Discord today
Welcome.
after listening to a meeting with Chris Mills. Question for you. Where can we find this Excel sheet?
The Excel sheet is in the Discord.
Okay. All right. In the
And
file section?
No, it's on the left side, and it literally, hold on, I'll tell you exactly what it says. It says deal machine calculator or deal machine calc because it's cut off.
Okay. All right. And then my second question is, I see right there, seller finance interest rate is 0. Why is
Mhm.
that?
Oh, so me and my team, we don't give interest on seller financing deals. We just don't.
And you get sellers who agree to that?
Yeah,
Really?
yeah.
Interesting. How do you think you're able to lock that in?
It's a lot of, so when I teach my team, and even some of the deep dives that I put in the Discord, my thing is all conversation versus interrogation type selling. And I've been told, it's hard to explain this without having to sound like a conceited asshole, but I've been told, um, you know what, fuck it. I'm easy to talk to.
Mm-hmm.
People have been telling me that my entire life, and I use that to my advantage. And the way that I use that to my advantage is talking to sellers on the phone for a very long time. People like to talk. I mean, listen to me. I haven't shut the fuck up yet. People like to talk. And if you connect with someone on an emotional level and really get them to understand or to feel like you're on their side, you understand what they're trying to accomplish, and you want to help them, then they will pretty much do anything you say if it's serving that common goal. And then a lot of it has to do with some NLPQ stuff that I teach them how to do. A lot of it is in the delivery. So and it's different if you're talking to a real estate agent versus a seller. But if I'm talking to a seller, because that's primarily what I do. If I'm talking to a seller and I'm pitching creative financing and I'm giving them the offer, one, I've already got them hooked on the idea of seller finance. I've already given them my cash offer that I already know is too low. So when I say, all right, now here's the seller financing offer that we talked about, and I think you're going to like it. That's one. I think you're going to like it. It's already pre-programming them to like it. So I say something along the lines of, here's what I can do. I know you're asking me for a $300,000 purchase price initially, cash offer. I can't do that. But since you're willing to go creative financing, that helps me to cash flow. Since you're helping me to cash flow, I think I should reward you. So what we're going to do is we're going to give you a $310,000 purchase price. That extra $10,000 over asking, I'm going to give you cash in your pocket at closing. And I'm going to give you about maybe $500 a month in positive cash flow. And I can get you all paid off in about 10 years. Can you make that work? Now, I already know it's going to work because I know exactly why they're selling and what they're trying to accomplish. So I've created the deal to match that. I already know as soon as I give that offer, they're going to be doing math in their head. Okay, can I do this with that money? Okay, will that fix this? Okay, yeah, it fixes all that. And they just do it. So when I'm talking to a seller, I don't say the words down payment. I don't ever say that to them because triggering the words down payment triggers when they have to put down a down payment. And when most people buy a house and they put down a down payment, it's about 20%. So if I trigger that memory by saying the words down payment to them, then they're going to say, well, wait a minute, I put down 20%. Why are you only giving me $10,000? Shouldn't I be getting 20%? That's $62,000. Okay, well, I can't give them that. So I don't say it. I don't trigger it. Same thing with interest. I talk about the money, not the percentage.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not telling them I'm going to give you, what's $10,000 on 300,000? What's 3%? I'm not telling them, yeah, I'm giving you 5% down. I don't say that. No, I'm giving you an extra $10,000 cash in your pocket at closing. And then I'm giving you positive cash flow of about we'll do $500 a month. That's enough for me to still cash flow and for me to give you positive cash flow as well. Taxes, maintenance, tenants, I'll take care of all that. You don't have to worry about nothing. Just get your money every single month. And I'll get you all paid off in about 10 years. Can you make that work? They say yes. I just got a deal at 0% interest. As a matter of fact, most of the deals that have come through me on Deal Sniper in the last 2 weeks, I think only one out of like 15 or 16 has interest on it.
What about does that work when a realtor is involved? Like, or does that work when you're like direct to seller?
I mean, it works better direct to seller, but all the offers that we go out that we've sent out in the last week, the 16 that we've done, they were all realtor. And again, only one of them has interest.
Mm-hmm. Okay, nice.
And then a lot of times you can tell the realtor or the sell, well, the realtor in the Deal Sniper said, I guess I should focus more on that. In Deal Sniper, you can say, look, yeah, our monthly payment has no interest in it. But why does it have no interest? We gave you an extra fucking $25,000 on an asking price for a property that's been listed for over 90 days. That's why.
Mm-hmm.
And there's not a whole lot they can say. I mean, they can get mad. I mean, obviously, don't say it like that. I'm an asshole. Don't say it like that. But you can politely and professionally say, well, we figured that would be fitting since the property's been listed for so long and we gave you such a big over asking price. And then and again, I'm not the coolest dude in the world when people challenge me like that. So then I'll say, is that not enough for you guys? Or were you really looking for more? I'll drill it in because I don't care. If I don't close this deal, I'll close the next one. Like this is what I do. So and it's a lot of that confidence and that little bit of not arrogance. It's more like I got the gall to ask, like, really, Mr. Realtor, like you've had this thing listed for over 100 days. I gave you $25,000 over asking, a very generous down payment, and you're asking me for more? You know what? Never mind. There's a house listed down the street that one of your colleagues is listing. I'll put an offer on that. Don't worry about it. That's me.
Yeah.
But it's that you can have that without sounding like a jerk that much.
Okay, and then my other question, thanks for all of that. Do you target expired as well? Ones that like failed listings?
Oh yeah. A lot of times what I'll do is I'll get in good with, like, my realtor. Every month for the last year, she sends me a list of expired listings in the area that I market in. And I give her like $100. So yeah, expired listings are great. Just usually you have to figure out which ones those are, because the ones on Zillow, Redfin, and all the other ones, those are active listings.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I'm actually a realtor myself, but I'm like more heavy focused on the wholesale side of it.
So let me ask you a question, since you're a realtor.
Mhm.
What's the biggest issue? I know what the answer is, or at least I think I do. What's the biggest issue realtors have with wholesalers?
Well, okay, I started as a wholesaler and just became a realtor. I've only been a realtor for 1 year.
Okay.
And from that 1 year, what I gather is just the fact that they feel that wholesalers are taking away value from the homeowners. They don't like dealing with, even like my brokerage is definitely not investor friendly. He doesn't like the idea of pitching creative finance and seller financing or anything of that nature. They feel like we're putting the sellers at risk and creating a headache for them. And I'm like, you have to change your perspective and your approach and look at the solutions that you're providing for not just the seller, but the end buyers as well, with the low entry points and, being able to control that interest rate when rates are so high right now.
Absolutely.
Yeah, but no, that part. And then also just there are a lot of daisy chain things, contracts being ended and just not being the end buyer. So a lot of the conversation that I've heard was just they just don't like the idea of putting something under a contract and then signing it and not having an end buyer. And then those sellers are just, like legitimately waiting for their property to sell, and then it just gets canceled right before the due diligence period.
Gotcha.
Yeah, but I think there are some bad apples in every profession, and it's like if you weed out and you build a relationship like you're saying, then you will be able to determine, okay, who's legit and who's really trying to make this deal, follow through and secure the deal. So it's all in that.
Absolutely. No, I appreciate that. Thank you. Yeah, I like to get insights to why people do what they do. And for me, it's always fallen back on realtors don't like wholesalers because of shitty wholesalers.
Yeah.
So you literally just heard it from two places. One super legit because she's a realtor. Don't be a shitty wholesaler. And that's really going to harp on what I was saying earlier. Don't make the deal fit. If I tell you, or if it doesn't fit the rules that we can get this sold, don't tell the realtor that you can get it sold. You're just letting them down. You're wasting their time, the seller's time, and yours. Just it's better to just move on to another one of the other 1,000,005 listed properties in the United States. Thank you, Barbara. I appreciate that. Did I answer your question?
Yes, you did.
Perfect.
Do you have videos or anything? I know you said that's who you are. You're charismatic and everything, but do you have any like videos out there that kind of shows that dialogue that when you're making that, initial conversation about seller financing?
I do. I've got a bunch of them talking to sellers. I don't have any recorded talking to realtors because usually someone on my team will just call me and say, Sean, hop on the phone with this realtor real quick. And I don't have a chance to record it. But what I can do in the meantime, while I'm trying to schedule to get on the phone with a realtor in a live situation, I don't mind role playing with anyone. I do have a lot of videos on my YouTube channel. The link is in the video library on the left in the Discord. It's towards the bottom. But that's more breaking down deals or answering questions that people have from realtors. Now, none of me talking to a realtor, but I'll get you guys some. I'll figure out a way to get those scheduled.
Okay, last question. Sorry if I'm taking
That's all right. That's why we're here. Look, for all you guys, sorry, Barbara, for all of you guys that are just now joining the call or haven't asked a question yet, I will be in this training until you guys don't have any more questions. So, Barbara, take as much time as you need. Everybody else does.
Okay.
Hey, Sean.
Oh, go ahead, Shane.
Yeah.
Hey, Sean.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just chilling out in the training until you let me know if you're gonna get some time to do the Novation training with me.
That's Tuesday.
Tuesday? Okay, I'll wait until Tuesday.
That's Tuesday. You, Chris, Jay, and Tyler are going to be there. I just scheduled with Tyler today. And I'm going to teach you guys how to do that.
Okay, do me a favor, right? So in the CRM, could you go, because you said I have access to all of the other CRMs. Like, how do I go and
Oh no, I have to add you to them. So how much more do you want? Like, do you need like a couple hundred leads a day? You want 20 more leads a day? How much do you need?
So right now
I'll
just put me in all of them because I don't have nothing coming in right now. And I just like today was a waste for me because I didn't do no calls today.
Okay. All right. I will add you to it as soon as I'm done with this, and then I'll let you and the rest of the team know what time on Tuesday. It'll probably be like 5.
Okay.
On Tuesday. Right. And then, yeah, I'll shoot you a text tonight. It's probably going to be at least an hour or so, but I'll shoot you a text and let you know. And you'll access them the same way you do through all the other ones on the drop down.
All right. Thank you, man. Appreciate it.
No problem. Gotcha. Just so you guys know, Barbara, I apologize for that. Shane is on my personal team, and I've made a promise to them when they join the team to always come first. So normally I wouldn't have let him cut you off like that, but I kind of made a promise. Sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, you're fine. Yeah, no worries. Okay, my question was for investors who have a higher interest rate, what's the angle for that? And I know this call was going over the deal sniper, right?
Well, we went over deal sniper in the beginning, like I did a little tutorial. I can do it again if we need to go back to that. That's fine. And then after that, we were covering creative financing. And then after that, we're just doing general open Q&A. So at this point, just ask whatever you got and I'll just go to it.
Okay. So yeah, I have a seller and his property has been on the market, I think like maybe 204 days.
Shit. Okay.
Yeah. But he has a hard money loan and high interest. So I'm just like, I don't know if there's any angle for me to help him in that scenario.
What's the interest? Like 12, 13%?
10%.
Okay. What's the monthly payment? You know?
I don't have it off the top of I don't know off the top of my head. I would have to pull that up.
The only recourse you have is to maybe sell it to a homestead buyer. That's the only thing I can think of because I'm imagining, and I could be wrong. Here's what you need to do. You need to look with the the payment is for that hard money loan. And then you need to look and see what the rental rate is for that property. If the rental rate is higher by enough to give you a 10% cash on cash return, then you can sell it to an investor even with that. It's going to be harder, but it's definitely possible. I've done it a few times. If the cash on cash return is less than 10% due to the high interest rate and the monthly payment, then you could potentially sell it to a homestead buyer who isn't going to rent it out or anything. They're going to live in it.
Okay, yeah. I mean, that was his initial exit strategy, but it's been listed and sitting for a long time.
If
So,
you lock it up under, well, is this your client or is this a deal sniper thing?
oh, he's not my client. He was just, he's just an investor who's reached out trying to get his it's not listed under me.
I would ask him if you could market the property for him, if you want to, and then obviously you would get an assignment fee if you get it sold. And then I would make marketing material for the property and I would throw it on Facebook Marketplace. That's the best place to find homestead buyers. And see if someone will take it. Don't put the interest rate in the marketing material. Just put the purchase price, the entry fee, and the monthly payment. Let them fall in love with the deal in the house and then kind of hit them with the, hey, I hope you like it. Remember that payment? You like that payment? You're good with that payment? Okay, good. It's at 10%.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of
Okay.
deal. Yeah, I think that's going to be the only thing he's going to be able to do. Or she.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay. Who else has a question about just anything at this point? If you need me to go over the calculator again, I will. If you need me to go over Deal Sniper again, I will. Just let me know. Really? Y'all done? I mean, shit, it's Friday. I get it. All right. Well, then in the meantime, I will let you guys know kind of how I operate on the Discord. If it's not the address of the property, because don't ever put that in the main chat because that's obviously your lead and everyone can see it. So don't put the address to any properties that you're working on in the main chat. If it's something where you feel I need the address, DM it to me. But if you just need help looking at the numbers, put it in the main chat. I'll answer it. If a realtor responds and has a question you don't know how to answer, put it in the main chat. I'll answer it. I'm in Discord on Mondays, Wednesdays, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, pretty much all fucking day. Tuesdays between 10 a.m. and 2:30, 3 o'clock Central, I'm doing admin work and I'm doing stuff for my team. So you guys can still ask questions. You're just not going to get an answer until after 3 o'clock. But if it's other than that, I answer questions at 5 o'clock in the morning, 1 o'clock in the morning, 2 o'clock in the afternoon, doesn't matter. Just ask. I do get busy. So sometimes there may be a 10, 15-minute gap before you get an answer. Another thing, if you need to get on a one-on-one with me, you want some private help on a deal or an idea or to understand something, just let me know. We'll schedule it. And then, yeah, what's up, Leslie?
Hey, yeah, I would like you put me on your schedule for that Monday morning.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right.
I'm not looking at my calendar. Did we put it on schedule or are you still waiting for me to give you a time?
You tell me you're going to put it in your schedule for Monday, 11 your time, Central Time.
11 o'clock Monday. I got you in
All
there.
right.
Just give me a call.
Okay.
Awesome, dude. So yeah, then we can jump in a one-on-one. I'll fill in any gaps with any ideas, coach you on whatever I can. A lot of new people, they ask me, hey, in this community, how much is it to get on a one-on-one? I usually laugh. I don't charge you guys for anything. You're already paying to be in the Discord and that comes with me. So any help that I give you guys, you're not going to get a bill for it. I'm not going to charge you for it. None of that shit. JVing a deal with us. If you want to JV a deal with my team, you can absolutely do that. That's available to everyone. We'll underwrite the deal after you have it under contract. We'll create the marketing material. We'll push it to our in-house buyers. We'll put it on Investor Lift, Investor Base, and all the rest of our platforms that we use to push deals. The split is 60-40. You get 60%, we get 40% for the dispo. Doesn't matter how big the deal is. If we get an extra $10,000, like let's say you guys want to sell it for $10,000 Simon fee, but we sell it for 20, you get 60% of the 20. Whatever we get, that's what we're splitting. And that's how that works. Does anyone have any questions over anything that I just went over? Okay, cool. Then the last thing I want you guys to remember, especially if you're new, you're going to get told 95 times a week, no. Most responses you're going to get are no's. But out of every 100 offers you send out, you should get about 4 to 5 positive responses. Out of those 4 or 5 positive responses, you'll close 2 or 3 a week. That's the formula. All right, that's all I've got. I hope you guys have a fantastic Friday. Hit me up in the
Awesome.
Discord.
Thank you.
If you need anything, no problem, Barbara. It's nice to meet you. You guys have a great night.
You too. Thank you.
No worries. See ya.